I know Jen always gets compliments of us, like, something's different about you guys.
Interesting.
And I think it is the way we play, the light we shine, whether that's on the field or off. It's just something so special.
Ellie Walbruch is with us. We're here with Beyond the Game. My name's Mike Lacy, and Ellie is a star soccer player. She'd probably say, no, I'm not yet.
No, I'm not.
I knew you would. But this young lady has a fantastic story that I'm only aware of from what I've read and talked with people about. But Ellie, it is so good to have you here from the BYU soccer team.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm so pumped to be here.
My son played soccer at BYU, and so even though my friends from the football team talked to me about how is your son playing football,
Love it.
I did too. I said, well, it's the world sport, and they said, oh, that's just Europe's way. But this was back in the 1980s. It is a big sport.
Oh, it's awesome. It's massive. I feel like everyone knows about it too.
They
Not
do.
just in Europe. Now it's coming over to America more.
And so we're more aware of it in the United States.
Exactly.
And our teams are more competitive now in the world. And it's kind of fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
Isn't it?
World Cup's the best to watch, better than any other sport.
It really is. I mean, I was a football player.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see all the enthusiasm around a Super Bowl
Right.
or the NCAAs or anything. But for you guys in soccer, last night, for example, I saw that Argentina, was that men's or women's? Argentina beat Brazil
Men's.
in
Yeah.
the World Cup qualifier.
Exactly.
Is that a surprise?
A little bit, but Argentina has Messi, so he's one of the best in the world. So he's supposed to win,
But
right?
isn't Messi kind of like, why am I Tom Brady? Isn't he the older guy now?
Older, but still so good. Like, just like Tom Brady, like he got older and he still was good.
Really good.
Just same as Messi.
And I assume that Messi makes the teammates that are around him makes them better. Too,
Phenomenal, yeah. And that's why they won. They won last year's World Cup, like his first time. And it was so surreal because everyone's like, Messi deserves it, Messi deserves it. And he put his team on his back and won it. It's crazy.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Ellie, here we are the day before BYU meets with Alabama in the NCAAs. And I asked Ellie, I say, how much into the NCAAs are you? She said, oh, yeah, I'm there. And so
I've got a women's bracket. I got a men's bracket. Just, it's so fun. And like the soccer team, we always put it on, all the games on in the team room, and we just watch it and just hope for BYU. Yeah, it's a blast.
It's kind of a fun team to watch.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't it?
It's so fun. And I feel like us girls, too, on the soccer team, we know all the guys. So it's like just so fun to see them compete, and obviously win is a big thing for BYU sports. So it's been awesome.
I had a son that played soccer, another daughter who ran track for BYU, and another son who was on the football team.
Yeah.
And Tom Holmoe, who was a teammate of mine, has been a wonderful athletic director. And what makes me feel about how wonderful he is his connection
100%.
with the athletes on every single team.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be football and basketball. You could be on the lacrosse team. I don't know. I mean, he's aware of every single athlete on his teams.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like.
No, he is. And he loves BYU women's soccer. He's at every single home game, cheering on with President Reese, jumping up and down when we score. And it's really cool because when I compare my athletic director at UCLA and Tom Holmoe here, it's just so different because Tom does know. He knows all the girls on the team, and I know he knows all the girls on the volleyball team, and it's just something that is completely different from UCLA where I was at, where he really didn't show up to any of our home games. He didn't really know you personally, just
it was a business.
Came and go. Exactly.
It was a business.
Exactly.
And I'm not knocking that. I mean, that probably
college,
was his job.
Yeah.
But it was, and Tom is a friend. And so when my daughter, Sarah, who ran track at BYU, which, oh, yeah, Tom, he knows all of us. And he's real. I said, yeah, well, I mean, he knows you too, because
me.
you're my.
Exactly.
Yeah, because of me, But no.
Yeah.
He knew all of her friends.
Exactly.
He was aware of them and cared about it. That was unique. I could tell. I mean, that would take a lot of effort.
Oh, 100%. And I think me and Tom have a really good relationship. Obviously, he's been here since I was here, and just kind of him supporting me through my injury and through transferring here has just been huge in my journey, and I'm so grateful for him. I'm so grateful to have known him for his time, a little bit of his time here.
Well, let's talk about that. First, Ellie chose to go to UCLA, and the year you were a freshman there, they won the national championship in soccer.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? How was that?
Just so surreal. I mean, you dream about that kind of thing and that kind of accomplishment your whole life. Like, oh, I'm going to win. I want to win a national championship. Like, that's my goal. And at the beginning of my recruiting process, I was kind of back and forth. BYU, UCLA, Stanford was in the picture. Notre Dame was in the picture.
Wow.
Just had a lot of, I did have a lot of offers.
Where did you play high school?
So, yeah, it's honestly a good question, because I went to American Fork, but didn't play high school soccer. I chose to play with the boys, so kind of put high school soccer out of the picture. On a club team, just trained with them, and then I got to play in a few state cup games, which state cup here is like all the Utah teams play each other, and then whoever wins. It's like a tournament basically in Utah. So was lucky enough to play with the boys, and just I felt like that for me, obviously, that's how I was going to develop more to going into UCLA, just because the speed was faster with the boys. They're stronger, better soccer IQ, and I didn't really think I needed to do high school. So played with the boys and foregoed my high school soccer career.
Well, wow, Ellie. We can take this story many different ways.
Yeah.
But I remember when the great tennis, John McEnroe.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with him?
I know his name, yeah.
He was a tennis great from the 1980s, and then he's one of the announcers periodically for big tennis
events.
Tournaments,
yeah.
events. And, it's fascinating, at the men's and women's professional level.
100%.
How great they are, and it's fascinating to me. I love tennis. And so someone on the stand when John McEnroe was there. And again, I don't want to sound mean but someone said, oh, she's the best tennis player in the world. John McEnroe took offense to that. He said, well, if she was playing men's tennis, she'd be up there, but she'd probably be 200th or 300th. Because just men are bigger and faster.
100%.
There's this testosterone that men get.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Ellie, you were out on the field. They call it the pitch, right?
The pitch, exactly.
You were out on the pitch with these dudes, who are bigger than you.
Oh, yeah.
And most of them might have been faster. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did you compete with these dudes?
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
I know. It was a really cool experience, because a lot of them were like some of my good friends I played up at La Roca. So
Where's La Roca?
It's up in Ogden.
Wow.
South Weber.
And you were?
I'm from Highland.
Yeah, but you were in American Fork at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're Highland. Okay.
But yeah, I drive up there 4 times a week. To South Weber by myself. And yeah, basically played with the boys. Obviously, like I said, faster, stronger, but... Was
it games or workouts or all of the above?
Practices and games. I got into some games, but just getting...
Did these guys try to treat you differently? or was it a real game with you too?
No, was pretty respectful about it.
Slide tackling just like everyone else?
Yeah, they acted like we were... I think it made them a little more, pissed off that we were playing, because it was... Yeah, but, it was just a huge experience, because it prepared me, I think, so well going into UCLA, because they were faster, and I was going to play against faster girls at UCLA. They were stronger. I was going to play against stronger girls at UCLA, so I just took that as a stepping stone of... this is going to be the best thing for me. And it was in the end. And I think I developed a lot in my physical stature, but also my playing faster because it is a different speed of play with the boys. But it was awesome. And looking back, like everyone's like, oh, do you wish you played high school? And I'm like, no. Like I had a great time, and I think it was the best thing for me.
And so the time that you spent with this club team at La Roca was probably quite a bit because you weren't playing with your high school team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I can imagine that some of your friends from AF were angry with you that you weren't playing on their team.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. I think, like, everyone would always ask me, hey, are you playing high school? And it was kind of up in the air for a little bit. But I feel like for me, the high school thing was more of a social aspect where I was like, soccer is my life. Like, I want to develop. I want to go into UCLA, the best shape, the best fit. Like, that was my main focus. The social aspect wasn't really in the picture for me. So I said, screw high school. I'm going to play with the boys, and I loved it. I loved every minute.
I don't know if you've ever seen Ted Lasso.
I haven't, but my dad does watch it.
Okay, and I watched it, and it was, it ends up being a really good story.
Yeah.
But the team that he's coaching in England, the hypothetical team.
Exactly.
The Latin American guy is just so funny and has a great sense of humor. But he said, and this was his quote, and I've even seen it on T-shirts, soccer is life.
It is.
And you just said it.
Oh, yeah, it's hysterical. It is. It's been a big part of my life since I was little. I mean, grew up in a soccer family. Like, my dad played Division I soccer at Denver University.
Really?
My brother plays soccer on the men's team. I mean, just...
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Is
it still a club team?
Yeah, sadly. Which that should be, in my opinion, I might be a little biased.
With
but
Tom, I've said no. With our BYU experience.
Oh, and like them playing on South Field, like they get it packed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just grew up in a soccer family, and soccer's life, especially
your father played Division I where?
At Denver, University of Denver. Okay. My mom played Division I basketball at University of Denver. That's where they met. Then brother played at Utah Tech for a little bit for his first 2 years, and then came to BYU. Me play here, and then I have a little sister who's a senior in high school. She's going to come to BYU, hopefully be on the cheer team. And then my littlest sister's a soccer phenom, so
really,
it's a big soccer family.
Now, I shouldn't dwell on this too much, but was your father part, or your family, did they get involved in your decision to just play with the guys to improve your speed and strength and, the speed of your game?
Yeah.
Or was that your choice?
I think my dad had a big influence on it. He is like big. He trains me all the time. Like, I'd wake up, train with him, go to school. But I kind of had the idea of it, and I kind of brought it to him, and I was like,
he was okay.
He was like, Ellie, I'm all for it. Like, I love it. And
are hacky sacks all over your house?
No, but soccer ball, like real big soccer balls are. So Mom doesn't really like that one, but
how many lamps have broken?
No.
We won't go there, right?
Hopefully not. Don't bring that up.
Well, Ellie, then your next step, you went to UCLA. They won the national championship, but you're a freshman, so
yeah.
I'm assuming you weren't playing a lot at that point.
Yeah,
but you're part of the best team in the country.
Oh yeah, I played a good amount. I feel like for a freshman, more towards the beginning of season. Then obviously when we played in the Pac-12, when the Pac-12 was still here, scored 1 goal, which loved it. Credit to me. Yeah, I played
Good for you.
Yeah, it was great. Great experience because that was my first collegiate soccer goal.
Describe that goal.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so you're a forward.
Yeah.
And did you tell me you're middle?
Center, yeah, center forward.
All right, center forward. So a lot of times you're kind of setting up the play for the wings, or sometimes the wings are crossing in front of the goal so you can finish.
Exactly.
What kind of play was this?
Yeah, basically I got a ball from one of the midfielders, like an attacking midfielder.
So over the top, or
just kind of on the ground, just like a simple pass to me, and I was like kind of on top of the 18. It was like a far shot, like I took a touch.
So the 18 is the goalie box.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I took a touch. I'm right-footed. I brought it to my left foot and just kind of shot it, and it went over the keeper's head. We ended up winning 2-1, and I had the winning goal. So,
Ellie.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. My parents were in the stands, so it was a really good experience.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, on Wallace Annenberg Stadium. It's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
But
and then, how did you come to BYU then?
Yeah, this is actually a really cool story. Basically, when I was recruited, because the recruiting process is so much different than it was to now, because I actually committed when I was a freshman in high school. So I was to UCLA. So okay. 14, 15.
Wow.
I was 15 years old, committed to UCLA, had a coaching staff.
Was Jennifer Rockwood in the, was she trying to get
She was, yes. She was
and Jennifer Rockwood is the head coach for
exactly
the women's soccer.
Yeah, program. I've known Jen since I was little because I've grown up going to soccer camps. Like, I've known Jen since probably I was 5.
So was she disappointed?
Yeah, she was. It was crazy, but it was kind of like we had a showcase, and I kind of had to make my decision before the new rule, which is you can't talk until your junior year, which is now. And that day before, it was like May 30th, I ended up doing really well at a showcase. I called the UCLA coach. They're like, Ellie, we want to offer you. Like, we'd love to have you as a baby Bruin. Let's go, get on. And I was like, I think this is my decision. Like, I'm going to commit to UCLA. Committed to UCLA, and man, it's a crazy time. It feels like forever ago, but had a coaching staff.
So you were, at that time, you were 14, did you say?
15 years old.
Okay.
Didn't really know, young. But
that's a super young age to make such an impactful decision.
Exactly. But that's kind of like how it was back then. Like, all the best players were committing. So it's like you kind of fell in that trap. We're like, I need to commit like everyone else is. Why am I not? So had a coaching staff that recruited me. Then once I got there, was a completely different coaching staff because they got fired. So that was one of the big aspects of my transfer, I guess, is because I liked my coaching staff, but they didn't really fit to my style of play, which is more of kind of like a post up. They kind of wanted one over the top, which is fine. Some teams can do that, but for my development, I thought, because I do want to play professionally, that's the goal after.
Good for you.
But I wanted to kind of be at a program where it fit me and my personnel, and that was BYU. And when we were in the Final Four, I was asking God, like, I was like, Mom, like, I need to sign. Like, I need to sign to transfer. Like, I was reading my scriptures, all this kind of things. Like, I needed a sign. And we were...
You wanted an answer,
I wanted
right?
an answer, exactly.
Wanted an answer.
Final Four game, we were playing UNC in the championship, and right before the game, you watch Scout. So you're watching Scout on what the other team does.
What is Scout? Oh, the scouting report?
Scouting report, yeah.
Okay.
Watching what the other team does, and all the Scout was on BYU playing UNC. And I just remember texting my mom right before game, like right before on the bus, and I'm like, Mom, I got my sign. I'm going to transfer. And this was right before kickoff. Not right before kickoff. It was right before our final game, the day before, which was super surreal for me.
Who did
because
you guys play?
UNC.
Okay, so UNC beat BYU, but you're watching the video, the film of
BYU playing UNC. Exactly.
Something you saw.
And I just took that as a sign, and I'm like, this is really weird. Like, BYU's playing, and we were only talking about BYU. Because I knew if I was going to transfer, it was going to be back home to BYU, where I knew the coaches, I knew the style. I've grown up. It's in my backyard. And, yeah, then we ended up winning national championship. Loved it. So surreal. I honestly am very grateful for my time at UCLA. I grew a lot as a person, as a player, and super grateful for the relationships I've met and had built there, because some of those girls are still really close to me and some of my best friends. But just growed a lot, and then called Jen, entered the transfer portal. Jen reached out to me, Ellie, we want you on official. And that was right when I got home for December break.
And
Christmas
this was
break.
a year ago, December.
Correct.
Okay.
2 years ago, December.
Oh, 2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. And then started in January with BYU. Loved it. It's been super surreal since. Because that 2 years ago, that season is when we made it to the College Cup again.
Right.
Which was awesome. So.
And tell us about that.
Yeah.
What's been your role with BYU? Because I don't have the timeline right of your injury because I'm not sure if we even shared that you suffered an ACL injury in spring ball a year ago, right?
Spring ball a year ago. So the year before I was with BYU, and that was the 2023? Oh my gosh, I'm confused with my dates now.
2023.
Yeah, that's the year we went to the College Cup, and kind of my role that year, obviously we had a ton of seniors, 12 seniors.
That's right.
Came off the bench, played a lot of good quality minutes, had a great year, scored 12 goals off the bench.
Really?
4 assists, started 1 game.
And you're just a sophomore, right?
Correct, just a sophomore. Okay. Yeah, I think I played a pivotal part.
12 goals. Now, soccer's a sport. I'll liken it to our baseball friends, Soccer's a sport where the average score quite often is 2-1 or 1-0.
Exactly. 0-0 sometimes.
Sometimes 0-0.
Yeah.
And then do all of your games end in shootouts if you're tied?
No, that's only in tournament games.
Oh, so you can end with a 0-0 score.
Yeah.
All right, so we're low scoring game and the season is 20 or 30 games?
Yeah. Right. Usually 20 like regular season games.
11 goals coming off the bench. Did you say 11 or 12?
12 goals.
12 goals coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
It was good. It was a good year for, I think, my role. Like, I took this role and kind of ran with it. I know some people could be like sulking about it, but I had a lot of good seniors to look up to. I mean, Liv Wade Katoa is one of my closest, love her to death, and she was above me, but I knew.
Liv Wade Katoa. So is she? There's some Katoas that have played football.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
Taylor Katoa is her husband.
Okay.
And he played at USC.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I know, but
keep going.
No, not at all. She was a huge inspiration, great role model. She was our captain that year, and I took that role and ran with it, and I think that's a great lesson I have learned is like sometimes you're not going to get things you want. You're not going to be a starter, but everyone's going to have a different role, and it's how you kind of go along with that role. And that year we were super deep, and our bench had more goals than our starters did.
Really?
Which was a huge thing and
huge. Do you think that was Jen's design, or how did that happen? It was huge. Keep going.
I think it was something Jen, because the best programs, like if you look at like a UNC team, they have deep bench, 20 plus girls. I mean, that's how they play. And so I think Jen kind of went into that. It's like, we're going to have a deep bench, and a lot of the goals and the goal production was from the bench, which was really something that we took, and it was huge for us.
Let me ask you an ignorant question or a naive question, but when my son played soccer for BYU, I remember taking a trip with a team down to Monterrey, Mexico. And they played some of the development teams for the Monterrey. I forget it was the Tigres or which team it was, the Rayados or the Tigres. Those are the two professional teams there. And the professional games were amazing.
Oh, I bet.
The stadium's packed with people.
Exactly.
They're just singing and dancing the whole game long. And there's all sorts of giant balloons and everything. But I remember the Mexican team, the Monterrey, whichever team it was, Rayados, we'll say. They had a guy that was a little older. He was a Tom Brady, or a Messi.
Exactly.
Relatively speaking. But he'd always come in the second half and score some goals. Is that because the other guys are too tired and he comes in with all this energy? Or what's the idea in soccer? Because there's a limitation in how many, not transfers, substitutions you can make.
Yeah.
Right? So why is it that you've got bench scoring that's more than your starters?
Yeah, honestly, it's a great question because I think Jen's philosophy was we are going to play our 11, our seniors who have experience, and they're kind of going to tire them out.
They're going to wear them down.
Exactly,
okay.
kind of.
All right.
And then our subs came in. And
they're fresh.
And they're fresh and had high energy and just like willingness to go to goal. And I think most of our goals were scored in that second period of the first half when the subs were made. But, I mean, it's a team. Everyone played their role, and it was perfected perfectly. And that year was amazing because we made it to College Cup, fell short, should have won.
You were so close.
So close.
I remember seeing some videos of it. Now, I'm going to interrupt you again. Maybe this is a non sequitur, but I liken it to our basketball team this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tomorrow, we're taping this the day before BYU plays Alabama.
Right.
And we were both talking how exciting that is.
It's so exciting.
And it's fun as an athlete. You know a lot of or some of the guys on the team.
Right.
And it's fun to see so many guys come off the bench and take those roles without too many guys hanging their heads or looking like they're frustrated.
Exactly.
And so here you've got a team with a deep bench that's coming out and hopefully wearing the other team out. Now, we'll see what happens with Alabama, but I'm crossing my fingers, and I still think our Cougars have a good chance.
I do too, and I might have not put them in my bracket but to win this game, but now I want them to win. I don't care about the bracket.
I have this philosophy. Now, someone's going to call me a traitor. I'm going to win either way. Because
exactly.
in my family used to get really mad at me because I'd put 5 or 10 brackets into the.
You got to do it. Exactly.
And this year, no, I only put 1, and the one that I put in has BYU losing to Alabama. So and my grandson thinks that I'm just a traitor. You can't. Pick Alabama.
Are you serious?
I know. Now, I have other brackets that are, just as competitive where I have BYU.
Exactly.
But the one I submitted to the group that matters, I didn't, and I'm embarrassed.
So am I.
My basketball friends, they're going to have to.
I know. Please forgive. Please forgive us.
Because I want them to win beyond anything.
So do I.
It'd be so fun.
It'd be awesome.
Have you ever sat in the Rock?
I haven't. I have not sat in the Rock.
I'm just curious how, these student fans are so energetic. Is it that way with soccer?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
really?
yeah.
Should I say football or soccer?
Soccer.
Okay.
Football for the Europeans.
Right. And Latin Americans.
Exactly.
All right.
No, but.
So you still have a goodly amount of people that come and watch your
games.
It's
mostly, honestly, like when we travel and play away games, the stands are filled with blue. It's so cool, and it's like nothing else compares to it because it's always blue wherever you go. You go to Texas Tech, you go to TCU, like blue, blue, blue in the stands.
Isn't that awesome?
It's so, and they're always singing our fight song. It's great. It's a good time.
It is a really good time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of fun to see all these, on the basketball team again. You got these international players or highly ranked, top recruits coming in next year.
Oh, yeah.
And the enthusiasm that they're feeling.
Oh, they're pumped. I mean,
I know.
As they should. It's a feeling you won't get anywhere else. Like the Coug Nation, the Rock, it's so good. It's so good to play for them and just represent the Y.
What number are you, Ellie?
15.
You're number 15.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
It's so fun. Just like, especially at home games when you're playing on South and just getting ready for the game, putting on that Cougar blue, your jersey. It's just like, it's so surreal, and it's cool because you're not just playing for yourself. You're playing for something more. You're playing for your Heavenly Father, and I just think that's so awesome. And people do notice it. People do see. I know Jen always gets compliments of us, like, something's different about you guys.
Interesting.
And I think it is the way we play, the light we shine, whether that's on the field or off. It's just something so special.
And I feel that from you. It's fun to have
really
you
nice.
here. I have a son who plays basketball at Southern Virginia.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to see you in athletics. What do you think, Ellie, is what are some of the lessons you've learned that apply to your life? For example, we haven't talked much about this ACL.
Yeah.
Tell us about your ACL and overcoming discouragement, for example.
100%. I think, obviously, I'll kind of tell a little bit of the story behind it.
Please.
We were in a spring game, basically a year from now, March. Yeah.
A year ago?
A year ago.
Okay.
In a few days.
Right.
But we're going down playing Utah Tech. Felt like I honestly was in the best shape of my life. I was working out, like fast, fit, strong. And I've just come off this high of the College Cup. And I'm kind of in this new role now. Just got nominated as a captain. Like, I'm one of the upperclassmen. I have experience. Just on top of the world right now. On
top of the world.
And going to play a spring game in Utah Tech. Spring games don't really matter. They're like spring scrimmages for football.
Correct.
Playing first 30, great, normal. And then the second 30, I was basically just dribbling like I always do, dribbling up the field. And I kind of feel a defender on my back and just take a step with my left foot. And bam, felt that infamous pop in my knee, went down. Honestly, it was excruciating pain. Like, I know people have different experiences tearing it. Like, some can walk off, some can jog. Mine was on the ground, crying, hitting the ground. And all that really is going through my head is like, what just happened?
What just happened?
Is that my ACL? Am I out for fall? Like, how is this going to affect my daily life? Like I've said before, like, soccer is my life. Like, everything I do in my life is for soccer. Socially, sleeping-wise, mentally, like, everything is soccer-related. So just kind of putting this on pause. It's all going through my head while I'm laying down on the ground. My trainer comes out, does the test. She's not saying anything to me. My dad and brother are luckily there. They actually come down, give me a blessing on the field, which was a really cool moment. In that moment, just felt calming peace that if this is my ACL, God's got me. This is God's plan. Then drove back from St. George with my dad and just kind of crying, so emotional. I mean, as you know, like, it's a really hard thing because before this, I haven't even got like stitches. This is my first major injury. Haven't sprained my ankle, like nothing.
Especially when you're playing with those guys.
100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That you know, it's not a brutal sport, but
it's a physical sport.
It
and
is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to not have an injury, but then when I do, it's the worst one you could possibly get. It was kind of hard to function that in my brain. And then that Sunday, it was April Sunday, Easter Sunday, got an MRI, just lots of thoughts going through my head. MRI results came back, was my ACL. Luckily, it wasn't my meniscus, which
Really?
I'm thankful for.
So that's intact.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's intact.
That's amazing.
I know, because if you do meniscus, it's like 6 weeks non-weight bearing.
Right.
Whereas me, when I got my surgery, I was able to walk like 3 days after with my crutches. But I think...
And they do the surgery so well now.
Oh, yeah.
That in all sports, people are coming back.
Better than ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Just as good as ever.
Exactly.
So is that your mindset? What's your thought as you're coming back? Where are you now, health-wise?
Yeah, I'm honestly in such good shape. My knee is so strong. And I give credit to my surgeon, Dr. Cooley. He actually did Tiger Woods surgery. So I was in the best hands.
It's funny. The young man, the man that was here before you also...
Did Cooley.
Had Dr. Cooley as his ACL surgeon.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's awesome. Cool to know.
Yeah. But just credit to all the people in my corner, my family. I mean, they've kept me sane. They've kept me on the right path. I go to a strength trainer off of BYU. His name's Alex Neff, and he's honestly been such a big part of my recovery process. I've worked with him since I was little, 12, knows my body, knows everything. So just really credit to him. I go in there every day, do my PT exercises, just strengthening. And I know a lot of people's recovery stories are different, and they're like 6 to 9 months, but I've decided to wait that full year. to kind of like really get back into it, which is right now.
So what kind of training are you doing with your leg? Have you been able to do partial squats or?
Yeah, I can do everything.
Okay.
I've been able to do everything for like since 6 months.
Good.
So running, sprinting. I started sprinting at 4 months. I have had a really smooth recovery process, which I'm super grateful for. But I think it's because before my injury, I was in such good shape and such good body. Like everything was great. But yeah, now I'm back and playing soccer again, playing in spring ball games.
Really?
So it's
Good
been very smooth.
And soccer's a fall sport for the ladies, right?
Correct. Very smooth.
So you still have a lot
super
of good,
strong.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. And now you're going into your junior year?
Junior year.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And our soccer program is really strong, right?
Yeah, we'll be good this year. Hopefully Big 12 championship ring on our fingers, That's the goal.
Where do they have the championships for the Big 12?
Last year it was in Kansas City, in like the newest NWSL. NWSL is like the National Women's Soccer League.
Is that an indoor stadium?
No, it's outdoors, but it's only...
Is it in October or November?
November.
Okay.
But it's a female soccer stadium. The first female-only soccer stadium in the United States, which was really...
NWSL. Okay.
Yeah, which was really cool to play in. And then this year, I think they're holding it at TCU.
Is that a turf field or?
It's grass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
in Dallas, a lot of the grass is really that Bermuda.
Exactly.
Right? And that's probably different to play.
Exactly. Yeah. But we'll adjust.
Right.
We'll adjust.
You will.
Exactly.
I know you will.
So it's exciting.
Ellie, what would you like to share with us? You've shared so many positive. In fact, I've probably missed 50% of what I was supposed to ask you. You talked a little bit about the different light, and I know someone interviewed you and talked about that different light. So, your regimen. Oh, creative celebration. Tell us.
Oh,
now, you at BYU. This is Eli. So blame him if you don't want to talk about this.
Oh, I love it.
Tell us. We fans who haven't been to a soccer game for a while, and I apologize, I need to be
I know,
there.
you need to get there. Come
I
on.
know.
This
if
fall.
Tom Holmoe's there, exactly.
I'll leave you tickets, promise.
Now that we know a player, but what do you guys do on this creative celebration when you score a goal?
Oh, we do a lot of sellies. Like, we're a big selly team. But I think for me personally, my favorite player is Marcus Rashford. Favorite team is Manchester United. He was at Man U. Big drama. He's not there anymore, but look him up.
In the Premier League,
exactly.
Right? So where is he now?
He's at Aston Villa.
Same thing, though, probably, when he scores a goal.
Exactly. And he does like this thing where you like point to your like temple and you close your eyes. So I remember when we played UCLA.
Now wait, doesn't he run over to the corner and slide on his knees first?
Hey, and that's someone different.
Okay.
That's Aaron. That's what Aaron did. But no, he just look up to him so much. So I'm like, I'm taking his celly. And that's what I did when I scored when UCLA came and played us on South 2 years ago. We beat them. They were number 1 ranked in the nation, and we were
playing against your old teammates.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Come on, Ellie.
We played against old team. That was national team.
Were they your friends or were they your competitive enemies?
Friends before the game. When I stepped on the field, enemies. But it was honest. That's a really cool story because first touch of the game, I get like a ball over the top sent to me, and I just chip the keeper. And that was my first touch of the game, and I score a goal, and we're up 1-0.
No.
Yeah, you need to go look at it. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It was
all right.
That was probably one of my favorite moments at BYU so far is just
against your old team,
that goal,
lady.
And I ran to like the crowd and just did my celly. Everyone's behind me. And like I said, Liv Wade, she was behind me doing like the 4s down. It was crazy.
All right, so what is the 4s down
So
mean?
like UCLA is like 4s up.
Oh.
And she was going like this behind me. And you got to look at that picture. It's hysterical.
All right, so this celly, name the player again?
His name's Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. What is this? What are you meaning?
I don't know what he's meaning,
hey,
but
look at that.
Like, look at this. Like, I don't know, but I take it and run because I love him so.
Well, that's so fun. I mean, when you score a goal, some people who are uninitiated in sports, it's they're showing off, they're bragging,
they don't get it.
No, but you have to. when you have a victory, because we have plenty of terrible defeats, right?
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine you laying down on the ground, slamming the ground because you hurt your knee.
Yeah.
You know, so you deserve a moment of celebration. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. And usually, like, before every game, like, I usually talk to one of my other best friends, Allie Fryer. She's on the team. And we always like, this is our celly we're doing this game. This is our celly. So if it comes down to me or her scoring, we'll do the celly, which
Sweet.
It's fun.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Do you have any other final thoughts for our, you know, we have people who watch and they want, I think they've heard plenty of uplifting stories from you. What are your final thoughts for us today?
I just look back through my journey and I think about how much like I've been gifted and how much I've worked hard for what I've accomplished. But I just look back and think about like enjoy the journey, enjoy the ups and downs. There are going to be downs, there are going to be failures, but it's just enjoying that whole process because like college sports, like it's gone in a blink of an eye and it's the best years of your life. So just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. And there's a lot of cool things you can take out of it and apply to your everyday life, which I'm excited for.
Ellie, I totally agree with you, except one thing.
Oh, no.
No. And this is actually complimenting you. It is the best years of your life that you've lived so far. Mm-hmm. And yet, trust me, life only gets better.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many more opportunities.
Exactly.
So enjoy because, yes, these are the best years.
But it only gets better.
But it does get better.
I know.
Especially when you're capable to, when you're pounding the ground after a defeat or an injury or some failure, there's a time for you to come back and you'll have that different light, that special light shining in your eyes, you and your teammates or your friends, your family, whatever.
Love it.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me. Had a blast.
Thank you for watching another episode of Beyond the Game. Remember to click here to subscribe and click here to watch our recent videos. Also, please follow us on social media and remember, go Cougs.